Waiters of Reddit, what is the weirdest conversation you overheard while serving a table? I was closing late one night and had a couple really high teenagers come in. They could barely sit up in the booth and ordered $80 worth of food for 2 people. One of the guys ordered an iced tea and asked for sugar substitute with it. I bought out his drink and set it on the table along with the sugar caddy. This kid just stared at it for a minute and then asked which packet was sugar substitute. I told him it was the yellow one. What color is yellow?" he finally asked. I pulled a packet out of the caddy and handed it to him, and walked away before I couldn't hold my laughter in anymore. As I was walking away, he turned to his friend and asked, "Can she tell how high I am?" They tipped me a quarter. I have 2 stories that I have been dying to tell. 1. I had man come in for dinner. I work in a 4-star restaurant, sweating bullets from the time he sat down. He and the lady were obviously a couple, and the entire staff guessed what would happen, especially after he ordered a $300 bottle of champagne to start the meal. She looked happy, but worried through the entire meal. When the dessert came, he got down on one knee and I heard her say, "Please don't." Those 2 words stopped my heart. I cannot imagine what this poor dude was going through. They had a hushed conversation and she ran out, literally ran, while he sat there still holding an open ring box. He finished the bottle of wine they had ordered during dinner, and pretty wasted turned to me and asked, "Why won't she let me love her?" Just like that. Like I am going to give him some kind of answer to explain the complex and painful thing that has just happened. I told him that sometimes we fall in love with the wrong people, and the only people worth anyone's time are the ones who give back what they get. He finished the bottle, paid his tab, and walked slowly to the parking garage. I never saw him again. 2. I used to wait tables at a Bob Evans that was located across the street from a nursing home. Whoever chose that location was a genius because old people love the shit out of Bob Evans. I had an elderly couple who came in every day for lunch and ordered the same thing. It got to the point that I would have their meal on the table by the time I saw them crossing the street from the window. They usually only got applesauce, banana bread, mashed potatoes. One day the old man came in alone after a week of absence. He never said it, but I knew she had died. He still ordered for her, and let the food sit on her side of the table. Every day. I cried more than one time delivering it. I hope one day my future husband loves me that much. The second story made me sob on the train. I worked in retail and had a similar experience. Every Sunday they came in and browsed our home decor for hours. This went on for a couple of years. Eventually just the husband would come in and look around, all of us afraid to ask about his wife. This one time he actually purchased a striped rainbow pillow, and he said his wife was recently wheelchair bound and was simply sitting outside in the mall. Our store was too hard to navigate, and that the pillow would brighten up the chair. After a while he stopped coming in. We all worried about them. He started coming back a few months later and told us his wife passed, and he just wanted to keep up their Sunday tradition. We all bawled when he left. I want that kind of love someday. Last night was pizza trivia night at the restaurant I serve at. I'm helping a couple in their mid to late 50s with pop culture questions against restaurant policy. We're all laughing and having a great time when the wife leans over to her husband and says, "She's so cute. Can I ask her to come home with us?" While I'm standing there, I laughed it off and got a $40 tip on a $60 check, and their phone number. Did they adopt you? I don't think that's what they were thinking of. I was working as a pizza delivery driver, technically waiting, right? And I'd pulled up to this house. Inside you could hear 2 people arguing about something, and the woman yells, "Fuck you, I'm gonna go and fuck the next guy that says hello to me." She answers the door. I said, "Hello, here's your pizza." I unfortunately didn't fuck her, but she gave me a $20 tip, which was nice. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I think I would save so much money if I just ate one big meal a day. Yeah, but then you're going to get hungry later. Yeah, I guess you're right. Pretty sure they were high. I'm pretty sure this was my boyfriend. Or some doppelganger version of him. Every day he eats a huge fucking breakfast that he thinks will sustain him the whole day, but it just gives him a stomach ache and makes him fart a lot. I work in a local greasy spoon. There was a young couple in maybe their early 20s eating breakfast. At one point the girl dumps a pharmacy's worth of pills on the table and starts counting them out. When I walked by to check on them she started acting super paranoid, and as I walked away I heard her say to the guy, Maybe we shouldn't be doing this here, there's cameras. And she proceeded to move all of the pills back into her bag and they left. I got a really nice tip though. I don't really remember the name used, but it went like this. What's Jennifer up to? Oh, she's probably fucking my husband. This was at a table of 5 women who looked to be in their 60s. Golden girls just don't give a fuck. Apparently they do give fucks to their friends' husbands. While I was working at a Jose's crustacean hut, I was serving a well-dressed, seemingly happy couple. They ordered a steamed pot for 2 and a side of fries to share. Right after I drop off the food, before I'm even out of earshot, the husband confesses to having been cheating and that he wants a divorce. She starts bawling her eyes out to the point she's doing the whole gasping for air between sobs thing, and my manager immediately rushes over to try and see if it was something she could fix because a full restaurant on a Saturday night is not the place for screaming, sobbing women. In the end, the couple stayed for 3 hours, didn't touch any of the food, and just had me throw it all out. Very weird day. Wow. At what point is it okay for the manager owner to say, "Look, I can appreciate that you're having a difficult time right now, but could you please not do this here?" Depends, how good are you at dealing with corporate over the potential shitstorm the couple could raise? The easiest method would be to comp their meal and ask if you could relocate them to a more secluded table, as their table was needed for a large party coming. Breaking that sort of news in any setting where there are likely to be sharp objects within arm's reach does not seem very wise. Breaking news: man stabbed to death with crab leg at local restaurant. I can't believe you're going to lose your virginity tonight, said at a family table. I like to think they were all quick-witted and were purposefully fucking with me. Maybe she just got married? 2 adults, 2 kids. Father said it. Really hoped they were fucking with me. Noticed a kid at my school was sitting in a booth on the other side of the restaurant. I offered to trade sides with the other busser so I could go say hi and such. This kid, by the way, is openly gay and very flamboyant at school. I started walking up and hear his dad talking about how proud he was that his son just got a girlfriend. The kid noticed me and looked pretty embarrassed. I feel pretty bad for him and hope his family is accepting of him no matter what if he eventually does tell them. I work as a cook in the most popular Thursday night bar at my school, but I also have a window for customers to order from and I chat with them quite a bit. Needless to say, almost all conversations people verge on the side of weird. However, some take the cake. My favorite was 3 girls who came up to get some French fries and while they were being made started to chat, mostly about boys. As the fries were being cooked they included me in their conversation and tried to get my opinion on how to find the right guy and which guy they knew was the hottest. As their conversation progressed, one admitted that the only guy she wanted to fuck was one of the other girl's brothers. This became the facet of the discussion as she began to drunkenly go into details about how hot he was, why he was so hot, and why she wanted to fuck him. Meanwhile, the second girl stood there awkwardly with a look of shame on her face while her brother was picked apart sexually by 2 of her best friends. While not the weirdest story I have, definitely one that will stick in my brain. I am not a waiter anymore, but about 6 years ago I was working at an Italian restaurant in California. A couple came in for lunch, ordered 2 iced teas and the 3-course special, appetizer, entree and dessert, each, maybe $25 total. The portions were smaller. After they down it in like 25 minutes when the guy gets on one knee and proposes to the lady. Keep in mind, this is like 11:45 on a Tuesday. She covers her face and the guy spends 20 minutes on one knee trying to convince her to say yes. It was the most uncomfortable thing that has ever happened to me. I had to go drop off the check while the guy was still on his knee because he called me over. Anyway, they leave and they come back in 2 months later and engaged, so it worked out. When I was a waitress, I once overheard 2 women talking about a sexual assault that happened to one of them recently. The absolutely insane part was that neither of them seemed to realize that they were talking about a rape, just the annoying sex habits of one of the woman's significant other. It was like being in a really dark comedy. I'm not a waitress. I overheard this conversation from a table beside me. A woman was transacting with this pregnant woman about a fake positive pregnancy test. Most recently, a guy in his early 20s was having lunch with his grandparents, and as I go to drop off the check he gets all upset and says to the grandma, "I shower 3 times a week now." Geez. Same day in the bar I heard since girl end her story with, And that's how I learned what midget tossing was. My favorite was a few years ago, and it was a brother and sister in the 70s. I had waited on them before. They always sit in the same spot, away from people and near the kitchen. I come out of the kitchen and turn the corner, and the lady is giving her brother the bird, screaming, "Fuck you, Morty! I should have smothered you when I had the chance." That's true sibling love right there. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.